What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to rank my favorite Danzig-era Misfits albums from worst to favorite. So this one is going to be tricky because the Misfits discography is all over the place. They have a bunch of singles, they have a bunch of compilations, they have a bunch of studio albums, and they have an album that wasn't released. It's a messy discography to begin with. So I'm going to I have to look at my notes for this one for some of them because I can't remember all of this stuff. So the Misfits only had with Danzig, they only released three like official full length studio albums, and those were Earth AT, Wolf's Blood, Walk Among Us, and Static Age. They also recorded another one called 12 Hits from Hell, but that was never released. A lot of those songs were released. I think all those songs were released on other things over the years, but that album itself never came out. That was supposed to be their uh, second album. That was the second album that they recorded in 19. Oh, isn't that interesting? It was recorded the day I was born. In August of 1980, they recorded that 12 Hits from Hell. And then we have the compilation albums, which we have Legacy of Brutality. We have what is often called Compilation One, and I've always called it Compilation One. But when doing a little bit of research before making this video, I realized that it's actually not called Compilation One. It's just called Misfits. But I'm going to call it Compilation One because that's what everybody calls it. And then, of course, there's Compilation Two. And then there's some EPs, Beware, Three Hits from Hell, and Evil Live, which I'm not even going to touch those, but and then tons of singles. So I'm going to rank. I'm going to do two. I'm going to do this two different ways. I'm going to rank their studio albums, the three studio albums that were released. But then I'm going to give you a recommendation. If I was to recommend buying Misfits albums, I'll tell you, and I'll include compilations and their regular studio albums, and I'll give you my if I was going to tell someone who wanted to get into the Misfits what order they should buy them in, I'll do that. But first, I'm going to rank the studio albums, and the first one is Earth AD and Wolf's Blood. Um, I never owned that album. Two of these three albums I never actually. Oh yeah. I actually did. I had Static Age, but I got it way later. So anyway, Earth AD, Wolf's Blood. I'm going to put in the number three spot. It's not a bad album. It's a great album. It has a lot of good tracks on it. And I know most of them from compilation albums. Songs like Wolf's Blood. I think Blood Feast might have been on that one. That was on collection too. It had a lot of good songs, but it was, it's not a bad album. Again, most or all of those songs appear on compilation albums, so it's a what can I say? It's the third of the three studio albums. It's my third favorite. My second favorite would be Static Age. That one, again, that has all kinds of stuff that was released on other stuff, and their discography is so all over the place. But I'm not even going to touch the Michael Graves stuff. Now, personally, I don't really like. Actually, I'm not even going to say really. I just flat out don't like the Misfits with anybody other than Danzig. And I catch a lot of shit for saying that, but it's true. I just don't. A lot of people, and it's kind of a generational thing. Like a lot of people of my generation, my age, kind of feel the same way. Yeah, if they had, I wish, see, if they had not called it the Misfits, if they had called it something else, I might have liked that band. But I hate it when bands just try to, and I understand why they do it because the Misfits, it's a brand. It's a fucking, it's a fucking brand. It's they got a logo. They got and they wanted to continue with that. Instead of starting over from scratch. I get that, but at the same from a fan's perspective, you're not the fucking Misfits because the Misfits had Glenn Danzig in them. Anyway, I'm not even going to touch like American Psycho and all that other stuff. Those, if I was to add those in this list, they would all be the worst, along with the worst albums. They would be um, you know, in the worst spots. So uh, now to my favorite Misfits album, Walk Among Us. I fucking love this album. I had it on cassette tape, and I listened to Walk Among Us every single night before going to bed on my Walkman, blasting it with the volume all the way up. I would put it in and started out with 20 eyes. 20 eyes in my head, and I just kicked ass from there. Most nights when I was high school, I was so tired. I would fall asleep before the first half of the cassette was over. But sometimes I'd still be awake, and I'd flip it over and listen to side two. It had like Nike a Go Go, Brain Eaters, Skulls. Oh, I love the song Skulls. That's such a good song. Um, not that you know, I, not that I have any skulls, little girl skulls hanging around my room or anything like that. Like the song, I'm not trying to live it out. But the song itself is it's a good song. It's a simple but super catchy song. It's just one of those songs. And but the whole album, I turned into a Martian. That's one of my favorite Misfit songs. I love that song. Nike a Go Go. It's got the live version of "Mommy, Can I Go Out and Kill Tonight." It's so fucking good. Walk Among Us brings back so many good memories. I literally, like I said, I literally listened to that album every single day. I think it was my freshman year of high school. I listened to it every night before going to bed, and sometimes I listened to it on the bus. I listened to that album so many goddamn times. I know it. I know every word to that. Well, I think I know probably every word to every Misfits song with Glenn Danzig. That's how big of a fan I am. I mean, I got their fucking logo tattooed on me. I only got 3 band logos on me. So, and anyways, so that's how I would rank their studio albums. I would put Earth, AD, Rose Blood first. Excuse me, in third, Static Age 2, Walk Among Us, numero uno. But now what I'm going to do is instead of I'm going to rank. I'm going to give recommendations. If I was going to tell you if you asked me, hey, Ellis Michaels, I want to get into the Misfits. What album should I buy first? What should I buy second? Blah blah blah. I'm going to answer that question right now. So as you may have guessed, the number one. I'm going to do this one in reverse order. So I'm going to give you these from best to worst, and not that worst is bad, but in order of what I would suggest. The number one, you could probably guess, Walk Among Us. Fucking awesome album. I love it. It's representative of the Misfits with Danzig. I think. I mean, their sound is so locked in. I mean, every one of their albums sounds the same stylistically, which is nice in a sense. But yeah, I would recommend Walk Among Us first because it's just a kick-ass album. It starts off strong, it ends strong. It's got some of their classics like Brain Eaters and Skulls and stuff like that. Um, and so if you asked me, Ellis, what Misfits album should I listen to first? Walk Among Us. Now the second one I would recommend is my I guess technically my second favorite if we were to if we're including the compilation albums, then my second favorite would be Collection Two, and I would recommend after you listen to Walk Among Us, listen to Collection Two, because it is a collection of awesome Misfit songs. And these come from different albums. I think they come from like Wolf's Blood. I could be wrong about this, but the collections have songs from all over the place. They got songs from Wolf's Blood, Static Age, 12 Hits from Hell, um, and whatnot, and other just singles and all over the place. So Collection Two, it had Hellhound Dog, it had Blood Feast. I love that song. Love that song so much that I don't know if some of you might know this that I'm also an author. I've written a bunch of several fiction books and a nonfiction book. And anyway, I've written one trilogy, and it's called the Blood Feast trilogy, which I took inspiration from the Misfits song. So if you like if you like crude science fiction fantasy, check out the Blood Feast trilogy by Ellis Michaels. Book one is called Inside Out, but I'm not here to promote that. I'm just mentioning it because I did. That's that song. I like that song so much that I named that trilogy of books after it. Um, it's got a bunch of other awesome songs on it too. I think that has "We Are 138," which has, in my opinion, the absolute best worst guitar solo of all time. That solo is just—it's so funny. It's a do 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 do. It's just two notes the whole solo. But it fits. It's perfect for the song. I love it. It's that's why it's my favorite. It's the best worst solo there is. It doesn't get any better or worse than that. So collection two would be the second album I would recommend. The third one I would recommend is Legacy of Brutality. This one I had on cassette when I was young. I got it after Walk Among Us, and I didn't realize that it was a compilation at the time. I thought it was a studio album, but it's actually, it turns out it's a compilation of other stuff, and it's got a bunch of good songs on it. It's got Hybrid Moments is probably one of the better known songs from that album, and one of the best in my opinion. It was in an episode of Jackass. It was, or maybe one of the movies. Maybe I don't know. It was in Jackass somewhere. It's in, or maybe it was a CKY video. I can't remember. But it was hybrid. I've heard of Hybrid Moments more than most Misfit songs in on TV or in movies and shit like that. It's a popular one that people pick. It's a great song. What else is on Legacy of Brutality? Who Killed Marilyn? She. It's just got a lot of really good songs. It's a great album. And lastly, after you listen to those three, I would say go listen to Collection One, aka The Misfits. It's just a collection of uh, you know what? I forgot. On Collection Two has another song that I absolutely love, which is not Teenagers from Mars, although that might be on it too. Children in Heat. I love this song. I don't know where this song came from. I don't know what it was on originally, but I love the song Children in Heat. That's on Collection Two. But back to Collection One. That is um, it, any of these albums is like a good place to start for the Misfits. You really can't go wrong with Walk Among Us, Collection One, Collection Two, or Legacy of Brutality. They're all excellent albums. But if you were to ask me what order to listen to them in, Walk Among Us first, Collection Two, Legacy of Brutality, and Collection One. But it doesn't really matter. You could listen to them in the opposite order and get into it just as much. I mean, you could listen to all four of those albums. You could probably knock it out in like it's less than an hour, because their songs are all like 2 minutes long. They're all short songs for the most part. They're all fast and fast and aggressive, and it's horrorcore at its finest. Um, so yeah, there you have it. That's how I would rank the Glenn Danzig era Misfits albums. Walk Among Us is my favorite, always will be. It's just got a special place in my heart because it was the first one I discovered. That's why I like it so much. Um, it's but I also think it's it's their best studio album for sure. It's their best studio album. I'll leave it at that. Once you throw the collections in there, it gets tricky because the Walk Among Us has like 10 songs. The collection two probably has like 20 songs on it or something like that. I don't know. Definitely has more songs, and it's hard to compare those two. But Walk Among Us is the answer you're looking for. Um, I'm going to shut up now. I'm starting to ramble. So there you have it. My favorite Misfits albums with Glenn Danzig, Michael Graves, Misfits, and whoever. If they had any other singers, I think they all suck. But Glenn Danzig, uh, they had like two songs that I think sucked, and the rest were all awesome. The only songs that the Misfits put out that I think sucked are Halloween 2. Halloween 1 is awesome, but Halloween 2 is stupid. Was it Rat Fink? Or it's Return of the Rat. No, Return. I love Return of the Rat. Return of the Fly. That's what it was. Return of the Rat is a Wipers song that Nirvana did a cover of. Return of the Fly is, I believe, a cover that the Misfits did, and it sucks. But aside from those two songs, maybe a couple others, all of their songs with Danzig are good, in my opinion. So there you have it. Now it's your turn to tell me how wrong I am and how much Michael Graves is awesome and how my list is totally wrong and my opinions are completely crap. So tell me in the comments how wrong I am, or tell me how right I am. Tell me whatever you want. Tell me your favorite Misfits album. Rank them in your favorite. Do you have a favorite song? Do you have a favorite album? Let me know in the comments. And thank you for watching. Till next time, I'm Ellis Michaels. Be well.